When you play the Game of Thrones, you
Subscribe and like.
or you die. There is no middle ground.
All right, hello YouTube. Welcome back to the Rescom YouTube channel. Today's video, we're going to be talking about Tyrion. Now, something I think is interesting about Tyrion and Dany that I don't think I've considered on this channel, I haven't talked about it too much, but I always talk about that Tyrion could be someone that could be a bad influence on Daenerys. But I never talk about the idea of what Tyrion could represent being with Daenerys, how that could hurt her campaign from just the outlookers of Westeros, how they're going to view Daenerys having Tyrion at her side. So that's what we're going to kind of go through in today's video. I want to talk a little bit about that because it's a little bit of a different topic than normal in terms of my Tyrion Daenerys discussions. And again, yeah, thank you for the members and Patreons that support this channel. I do appreciate it a lot. If you did want to become one, you do get videos early and some exclusive content coming in the future, especially around the House of the Dragon time when the season 2 drops. And let's get into the video. So let's think about Tyrion and where we leave him in A Storm of Swords, right? The last time he's really in Westeros. Tyrion is someone that already had a bad reputation even before Joffrey's death. He was someone that wasn't very well liked at court. He was someone that we can even see as soon as Book 1, A Game of Thrones, a lot of the higher lords in the Westerlands don't really care about Tyrion, kind of make him as a joke. We see him as being someone that's not really respected. He's seen as someone that is kind of the villain of this really despicable imp type character, and Tyrion doesn't help that because he kind of plays into it a bit as he kind of gives that advice to Jon in the first book. So Tyrion already has kind of a bad reputation to his name already. But then you factor in the idea that he was condemned for killing Joffrey and killing his father. So he is quite literally one of the most cursed people in all of Westeros because he was a kinslayer in terms of killing his father and also his nephew. If you won't even go as far as saying he killed his mother, that one's not really, but people do say that, especially Cersei. He is someone that's a kinslayer. That's one of the most accursed things in Westeros. Think about how people react to Euron in terms of being types of a kinslayer. Now, we know that hasn't had repercussions to Euron yet, but it's in terms of the public, how they're going to view Tyrion. So if Tyrion has this bad reputation, he's someone that is known to be a wanted criminal and killed his father and his nephew, the king. He is public enemy number one. If you were anyone that even remotely went behind Joffrey or Tywin, you're not going to like Tyrion. And so Tyrion, from the outset, is going to actually damage Daenerys' campaign even more. Because not only is Daenerys bringing over this foreign army of Dothraki, presumably the Unsullied, maybe even some Marinese, whatever she's going to do. They're all going to be foreign armies. It's going to come more as a conquest. It's not going to be as something like the Targaryens are returning to power type thing. It's not going to feel like that, right? Because you're not going to have a lot of houses with you, right? Given the fact that we believe that the Dornish are going to go with young Griff. The Baratheons right now are going to be with Stannis, but if Edric is presented, maybe the Stormlands could go to young Griff's cause, and young Griff, as of right now, is taking over the Stormlands. Okay. The Reach at this time is backing Tommen, but they could presumably switch maybe to Daenerys' cause, but you also got to think them being connected to Tyrion, maybe they don't like that idea. So who knows where the Reach is going to go, but we also know parts of the Reach are probably going to go to young Griff as well. So you kind of have that struggle. You're obviously not going to get much support from the Westerlands, if at all, which I highly doubt they will. The North has their own issues at this time, and they're going to be facing the others at this time. So who knows what's going to happen at that point. Eventually, the North, I think, will link up with Daenerys, but not at the moment. The Vale definitely is not going to be interested in Daenerys at this time. And the Riverlands, again, are also in ruins. So at this point of the story, Daenerys will not have any support in terms of Westeros. I also believe that because Tyrion is with her and she's openly pushing Tyrion with herself, if Tyrion was, like, say, Hand of the King, a lot of bad looks in terms of PR, like PR with the people. Like, think about what the people think about Tyrion, right? The people that don't know what happened in King's Landing, or just they're hearing rumors and speculation. That is not going to be a good look, right? Like, even think about Tyrion's reputation in, say, Essos. It's not a good look. And so the point of this video is really to show you guys something we haven't explored with the character of Tyrion. That he's also detrimental just based on who he is. Not even to do with what advice he's going to give someone, but that's going to like feed into it even more, right? Because people are going to view Tyrion as maybe pulling Daenerys' strings, pulling the Mad Queen's or the Mad King's daughter's strings as she's burning, whole towns and cities, or, she watched her brother die and got him killed more or less, or she's killing all of these, lords, which we knew were the slavers, but will the people of Westeros understand that? Who knows? That she's this person that bathes in the blood of virgins. Like, all that stuff is going to kind of get worsened because of Tyrion being around, right? Tyrion's reputation and the things that he does, that he's this lusty, drunk dwarf that is evil and kills his own kin, and he's coming back to finish the rest of them off, and Cersei and Jaime. That's what I really talk about in terms of when we look at the character of Daenerys. How does she mentally deal with all these things? Right? It's one thing to be hated in the shadows, right? As she is kind of in Meereen, and having to figure out what people are with her, what people are against her. She's going to be actively despised in Westeros, in my opinion. I think people are going to actively dislike her, be calling her all these types of things, spreading rumors against her. I think that'll be very interesting to see how Daenerys deals with it. Plus, you have to go with the idea that there is this young Griff, someone that can have the throne, that is also saying he's a Targaryen, kind of disclaiming your own claim. But if she knows he's a Blackfire, not actually who he says to do, maybe he's just some common born kid that just has the Targaryen features or Valyrian features. How does Daenerys deal with all that? And I think that's the interesting part of today's video, just adding another layer of trial and tribulations that Daenerys will have to go through, and how is she going to mentally do that, right? How is she going to work through all those issues? And that's why I think a lot of people like the Mad Queen thing. I don't know if I love the Mad Queen thing just based upon the fact that I've seen it in the show. I don't really like it now because of the way it was executed. And so I just want to see Daenerys have to struggle with those conflicts, right? Something that we see really greatly in book 1 is putting someone's morals to the test. How do you deal with, okay, you stand for this. Well, what do you do when there's pushback on that? When you have to maybe go against that a little bit? How much can you stand for that? It's kind of what Aemon talks about to Jon Snow as well in book 1, right? Like, everyone is going to be tested, with the idea of, do you go with love for your family or those things, or your duty, things you should be doing that you are, that's your job. It's a great job of how, it's a great way of George just kind of set this up for the next book to really test the character of Daenerys going forward. But thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.